So just because I'm not reading with this man, but I don't fuck with this nigga. I'm not gonna fuck with this nigga after this shit or no type of shit like that. It's just that it's two men having a conversation. I'm not trying to be his friends. We ain't trying to hit up and be none of that weird shit. Like I'm not that type of nigga because he's already disrespected me and said certain type of things like that. Like I already
And
know how.
stand on
So
and stand on it too. This
yeah.
conversation ain't
No,
taking back nothing I said. If I said it, I meant it. I stand on it.
I'm clearing up for my supporters so people can just understand where I stand. They think if a nigga ain't rah and saying fuck you nigga, that a nigga is like trying to kiss her. Like I don't do that. I'm a man. I got to be a man at all times. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you so I can get an understanding about the things you said about me, not about Brandon, not about Ed, none of that type of shit.
All right, we ain't gonna mention them no more.
Yeah, I was just trying to. Yeah, that's it. That's it. 'Cause I ain't trying to bring them up in there. I already know y'all be doing y'all own shit. So back to what I was saying at the beginning. Um, we already did the rape. We already did the allegations with the motherfucking and the 18 stitches and all that type of shit. That still has nothing to do with me. That was something that she never said that I did to her or anything like that. You listening to an op of mine named TC, and TC said that this is happening. And if y'all only knew why TC is saying that this is happening, because he know I'm a calm, cool, collected, and I'm solid to myself. I ain't solid to him. I ain't trying to protect him, but he know goddamn well the scenario and what went on. He knew goddamn well that I was chilling with my bitch that night. He knew goddamn well I was with Shotty laying up in the bed. And he knew God. So at the end of the day, he just know I'm not a messy nigga. He know that I don't really say shit because I already know what's going on. That's the reason why. And the only reason why I got convicted of anything, the only reason why I ever got convicted of anything in my life is because they wanted me because I was pimping. They wanted me because I was pimping. So they wanted me to get a conviction. They wanted me to flip on TC to confess because they already had information through Facebook messages in the inbox. Yeah, see, this might be some breaking news, right? They had information not only that certain things that wasn't even derived with me, but certain things was happening even before she got out there. And he told on himself. And y'all, the whole world didn't even see how he told on himself. The girl turned 18 on my birthday. We got the same birthday. And they've been fucking with each other before my birthday. Before my birthday. But that's what we're going off of. But that's cool. If that's what y'all respect
Okay,
because
so listen, here go my question then. This
but
question to clear up
hold
everything.
on,
How
hold on.
was
This is
your how did
last
she
this,
not
so this is the last thing. Just because he's up under the church, bro, you gotta call it for what it is, bro. You gotta call a spade for a spade. Literally, no pun intended. If a nigga is doing certain things, you can't support that shit just because he riding with you, bro. Because
listen,
you
let
know
me
damn
tell
well
you
you
let me tell you
motherfucker.
something, and then let me tell you something. Let me
Go
tell
ahead.
you something. Anybody that's riding with me, if I was riding with a nigga and he did some hoe ass shit right in front of my face, I'm riding with my nigga. Cause this my nigga. When we get back to where we going, I'm telling you, nigga, don't never do no hoe ass shit like that again. Period, nigga. I ain't doing it. I don't give a fuck what tea come out. I ain't gonna talk about it before I talk about it. I ain't doing that. I ain't going in on my nigga, even if I
Yes,
know he
sir.
dead wrong. I'ma sit there and I'ma
Have
chill. But
had
at
a
the
feeling,
end of it,
bro.
hold on, cause this how your people think.
Go ahead.
This how your team think. You can't make Ebony say one bad thing about Keys. Period. I don't give a fuck what he do because her loyalty is to him, and that's her nigga. When she know he did some heinous shit, she still stand on it because that's who she fuck with, and that's how I am with who I fuck with. Now you might do some shit that make me gotta cut you off, just like I fuck with Jackie. When I quit fucking with her, I told her I'm not fucking with you no more. I didn't go live and say it. I told her. She kept going live about me, which made me rebuttal because I don't do that shit. But at the end of the day, with this case, the lady said that she never even remember having sex with you. So how was your DNA found in her?
And that's why I'm so thankful that we're having this conversation because I came to give y'all that. And the evidence is in the pudding. All you have to do is look up the case. They didn't, non-conclusive, they didn't find my DNA. I just been sitting up letting y'all talk. But they never found my fucking DNA with her. But guess whose DNA they found? And this is on record. Just look up the case. It happened in 2014, I think March 29th. And I'm Antonio Dewan Keller. Look up the case. They never found my DNA. But we run with it because he rocked with you. I get it. So we ran with that narrative. I just never defended myself. But the proof was never out there. I just never defended myself. But that's why I'm talking to you right now. That's it. So when we find out, and I don't need no apology, I don't need no cool, I don't need no kill my y'all, but I'm saying once you find out that everything I'm saying right now is true, all I say is just keep it like that. You can still say fuck me, fuck you nigga when I see all that shit, but I'm saying when it comes to being a pedophile and DNA, none of that shit was never true, bro. It was never true.
If 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 TC did it, they went to your house, took computers and all type of shit after the shit happened.
They did
After she went
swabs
to
and
the hospital, her shit was stitched up. Why would they pick you up instead of him if it was his DNA?
I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all ready for the real? Okay. So earlier that day, TC had some homies over. You know what I'm talking about. And they ran the train in my backyard, in my patio. They ran the train on that girl. On my patio. They was sipping Four Locos. They ran the train on that girl. We all know this. He know what I'm saying is not a lie. I don't gotta make this up. It don't make me look good. 2 hours after that, the girl was who she is, and you know, Sierra Hoover. I'm not trying to like make you go through mental stuff, but you know what I'm talking about is true, Sierra Hoover, because this is before that night, and you forgot everything supposedly. All right, baby. So later on, Shotty had an out call. I was pimping at this time. Shotty had an out call at a place called the Fiesta. She goes up in there. It's me, TC, Shotty, and Sierra. I got a cream Escalade at this time. She go over there on her on the in call. I mean on the out call. We all chilling in the car. Sierra says in front of TC that she want to fuck with me. I fuck this bitch in the back seat of my shit. And then he gets out the car and he sits on the outside while I'm fucking this bitch in the back seat. So you want me to tell me, want me to tell you why? Because I sit up there like a dumbass and I admitted to the police that I had intercourse with her earlier that day. So since I admitted to it, because I've never been in no trouble at this time, I've never been locked up in prison, I'm thinking if I'm telling the truth, that's all it's going to be. You telling the truth. But I'm sitting over here they fucking questioning me. I'm like, well, shit, I know I ain't do shit wrong to her. I don't know what happened overnight. I don't know I don't know what happened overnight and what was going on overnight. But I know earlier that day, or earlier that evening, I know me and old girl did. Yeah, shit, we fucked in the car. So when I admitted that, and then knew the information about some other stuff, and I wouldn't fold and I wouldn't give up, and they knew that I was pimping, and they wanted to get me for pimping anyway. They said, well, we already know such and such is happening. We need your testimony for it. This is an investigation. It was consensual with you earlier, but blah, 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 blah. So when all that happened, that's how I got charged with it and never convicted with it, because they just wanted a case. They just wanted me to cop to something. At this time, my record was clean, and they knew I was pimping, and they couldn't get me for pimping because Shotty didn't show up. I had 2 charges: living off the earnings of a prostitute, and I had a sexual assault charge. And they dropped it. They dropped the living of the earnings because Shotty did not show up to court. So that's why. And they had a personal vendetta against me. And me being dumb and ignorant to the law, I admitted. I admitted that I had consensual sex with her. So that's why. Now the truth is out there.
How do TC get out of it?
Well, this is already out here. The case is already dead. That's why he can't get in trouble. So I'm not snitching on him now. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying, I'm just bringing it to light because I never brought it to light what happened. That's all. Why do I have to lie when the proof is out there? Do you know when people's case go lie, like the case is going to be out there in black and white? It's never going to say that they have my DNA. It's never going to say that she confessed that I raped her. Like, y'all going off of what TC is saying. Like,
You
that's
did the
bogus.
interview and said you did it, but she said she passed out. TC said he passed out too.
Right. So at this point, is this hearsay from people who don't fuck with me? Like,
So is
at the end of the day, but that's
TC is just making up all these lies on you? That what you saying?
yeah. And let me break this down too. I think you may know this, but at the same time, like I say, that's your partner, so I get it. As soon as I got locked up, I'm talking about in less than 24 hours. As soon as this is a nigga that I took because he was on probation in Chicago. I mean, he was in probation in Gary, Indiana. I said, hey, I'm gonna take you up under my wing. As soon as I brought him to my household, he was trying to fuck. I knew he wanted to fuck with some females. He said, "Well, I know I can't fuck none of your females, Capone. I know I can't fuck on Armani or Desiree at the time. She wasn't at Armani. She said, I know I can't fuck on Desiree, and I know I can't fuck on Shotty. So can I bring a bitch out here? And not only am I going to bring this bitch out here, I'm going to make her strip, and you can have the money. If I'm lying, I'm
That
dying,
makes
yo. I don't gotta lie.
that makes sense. That makes sense. I already said that in the interview. I told the bitch, I can tell you. I just put a filter on it. I know you was selling pussy is what I asked you. Was you down there to make money type shit? And she kept it on stripping. But I know what was going on. I'm a nigga. I know what
Right,
was going on. And I told TC looked up to you. So he brought the bitch down there and he admitted that she had to strip for you. So he admitted
right.
that.
And it wasn't say, hey, get that white young bitch and make her strip for me. It was nothing like that. I didn't know this girl. He knew this girl. He had prior dealings with this girl. He brought her down, and within 24 hours, I was being locked up, facing 10 to life over a bitch I didn't even fucking know. But it's still my fault. I got held accountability because I should have been sticking my dick in everything. So I'm gonna tell you what happened. Yeah, this would never been able to happen
Brandon
if I
calling.
would
Hold on.
never did that. It would have never been ever happened. So I can't blame everything on TC and the bitch or whatever because if I never put my dick in her, I wouldn't have had to do anything because I admitted to something, right? So now that we got past that part, as soon as I got locked up within 24 hours, I called back the next morning, Shotty acting nervous. What's going on? Man, put Desiree on the phone. I put Desiree. Desiree walks off into another room and say, hey, look. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on with Shotty? Why she acting weird and shit? She was like, well, last night TC got in a bed with us and he was trying to have sex with Shotty or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? Tell that nigga he can never come back to my house. I never fuck with that nigga. And when I get out, if I'm lying, TC, you know I'm not lying. I said, when I get out, we're going to fight in the backyard and I'm going to shake your hand because you're a little bro. You just made some fucked up decisions. I love you. That's what I told that nigga. On some solid shit. I didn't even have to do that. I could have said, fuck that nigga. Fuck you. But I didn't even do that with that nigga. And then, as soon as I kicked that nigga out of my house, they dropped off his clothes on the strip. Some nigga named Andre. As soon as that happened, guess what? That nigga went on a whole fucking hating rampage. He teamed up with another nigga named Imperial. He got Sierra Hoover and said, hey, we're going to come out with a book and a story and a documentary, and we selling it all over Facebook. And that was good he did that because he started getting sloppy. And he started having Facebook messages to this day that he probably don't even know that the fucking feds was looking at. And they brought it to me. And that's the only way that I knew this. I'm locked up. So how do I know that they doing videos and trying to sell a book? And how do I know that he said he was going to infiltrate everything and take over my whole dynasty and went to get Switch Gear Gang, my whole record label? So from this thing, it started to like set up from the beginning. But me being who I am, when they started investigating me in that fucking room, hey, you know what? You can just get out right now. You know, we already know. We already see the Facebook messages. We already know what's going on. However, we need you to say this, and you're going to have to testify on this. I don't give a fuck how much a nigga is my enemy. The last thing I'm going to motherfucking do is testify. And one thing I heard you say, I think it was yesterday, and I understand what you're saying, but when that shit is really getting tough, what you said yesterday was, I don't give a fuck. If I know I didn't do something, I would not cop out to it. And that was my whole fucking thing my whole time. And I 100% fucking agree with you. But let me tell you how they played this shit with me. I'm trying to get a speedy trial. For y'all who don't know what a speedy trial is, it's 60 to 90 days for them to come and see you in trial. And I never went to trial. You know, so that was another thing that they said on the what's the name. I never even got the trial because I copped the plea. So that was another lie that they said. It don't even make sense. How can I cop to a plea and we went to trial? But anyway, I was looking for a speedy trial. The speedy trial came up finally. Soon as we go into the court, they say, oh, wait a minute. The prosecutors, the DA, they're not ready yet. Delayed it another month. We come right back another month. So now I'm in there for I think it's 4 months later. I'm ready to go to trial. I come in, they say, well, we're waiting for the DNA to come back. I said, so I'm constantly spending these days off, waiting for my trial to come for something that I know I didn't fucking do. So I'm taking it all the way to the fucking big boss. I got me fucked up. I ain't copping to no plea. I ain't no felon. I ain't got no fucking record. I ain't copping to nothing. I ain't doing me no deals. So at this time, they start trying to give me all the deals. Let me just give you a 1 and 3. Let me just give you. And CCDC is fucked up. What they do, they'll chump up some charges. This make you cop out to one motherfucking charge. So they start trying to come to me with deals and act like they doing me a favor. I'm like, look, respectfully, I even got into it with my lawyer at this time. Y'all not doing me no motherfucking favors. giving me a deal to cop to a police or something I didn't do. So boom, finally the DNA come back. I'm getting excited. My court date is September 4th, 2014. Finally, I get to go to trial. I'm happy. I'm scared at the same time because I just found out some important information from my lawyer. I just now found out not only is Sierra Hoover a white woman that's 18 years old from Gary, Indiana, but they gave me a white judge from Gary, Indiana. A white female judge from Gary, Indiana. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? My lawyer's talking to me like, look, I know you didn't do it. The DA know you didn't do it. But the thing about it is, just because you didn't do something, don't mean you won't be wrongfully convicted. I just now did a case just like this because something happened with some person she had that was that was inside the fucking Bellagio, and she lost that case last month, and he was innocent. So now I'm like, why is my own fucking lawyer talking to me like this? If anything, she should be encouraging me if she know I didn't fucking do this shit. So I'm like, look, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. God is with me. At this time, I started getting really spiritual. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. God is gonna be like, oh, and for like 3 months, I was mad at God after what I'm about to tell you. I was fucking pissed off. I was cussing out God because I couldn't understand why he allowed me to fucking have to cop to some bullshit that he know I didn't do. So I went, I'm like, let's get it. Let's get it. So Sunday, the Monday before, I had to go to court. Sunday, they hit me up and they're trying to give me a deal. They said, you know what? We're going to break it all the way down and say, let's just give you 5 years probation and make it coercion. And I looked at the motherfuckers and said, we ain't doing that. I'm taking it to the big box. So I pushed back the deal on Sunday night. Monday morning, I'm waking up to go to fucking court. And do you know these motherfuckers? I don't give a fuck if you believe it or not, if y'all believe it or not. You know these motherfuckers, because they knew I didn't have money. They knew I was a nigga. That's how they get you. If they know you don't have money, they try to scare you with time. And you should know this because you did some time, Pastor P. So you should know this. We don't got to be friends for you to know what the real is. So when I went into court, they knew I didn't have money to bail out. They had my fucking bond at $850,000. I would have had to give $85,000 to get out. I didn't have that type of money. So when I go into court, these motherfuckers said, we got to postpone your trial date for 7 more months because we thought you was going to take the deal Sunday, so we let somebody else get into your place. You talking about mad, you talking about upset, you talk about, I'm like, I hear rappers, I hear Meek Mill and all these niggas talk about shit like this, but until that time, it never happened to me. So I got on the phone, I'm pissed. At this moment, I'm like, how can they do this shit to me? How can they just keep me up here behind my will? I don't got money to get out. They know I didn't do this shit. They're just trying to get time out of me. And they know that I'm being hard body about this shit. What should I do, moms? I talked to my mom. I talked to Desiree. They said, but look, if you could just come home right now, because even if you end up fighting and going all the way to the box and waiting 7 more months, it's still no guarantee that you're going to win this shit. The odds are against you. So if you can put that pride away, if you know that you didn't do this shit and they're going to give you 5 years coercion, not even a sexual charge to where you have to arrest her or anything, they dropping it like that because they wouldn't drop it like that for somebody that they knew did that shit. First of all, you're not going to get that type of charge. It's going to be still something sexual or something. So they dropped it up down and I ended up fucking pleading to that shit and they end up letting me out. And that's how I became a felon.
All right, but cool. And that story can make sense. But what don't make sense is you had a speedy trial. If y'all ain't ready in 90 days, this shit get through out. You don't get to add more time. And I signed up for a speedy trial. That mean I do not waive my rights. They say a defendant waives rights to such and such. They say that in court. You waiving your rights, meaning it can take long as you want. When I say I want a speedy trial, you have to get a speedy trial. In the state, in the feds, ain't none of that shit. In the state, they have to give you a speedy trial. If they not ready, then that's on them. The case over with. You either going to trial today with what you got, or we gotta let this man go. You don't do no year and some change for some shit when you sign up for a speedy trial. Period. That your lawyer know that. You can look it up. The speedy trial means a speedy trial. You have a right as a citizen to a speedy trial. They cannot take your rights away once you tell them, I want a speedy trial. So after 90 days, if y'all ain't ready, then leave me. Y'all gotta let me go. This is law. This the law. You cannot keep me no year or whatever how long they kept you. When they said 30 more days and it was 90 days, it's over. I caught a dope case. I told them no. When I went to jail, I got arrested for escape. They found dope in my freezer. My baby mama never gave them consent to search the house. They had a warrant for me. They didn't have a warrant for my house. So them looking in the freezer is illegal because I can't hide in the freezer. You only can look where I can hide at. And I went to court. The judge said we coming back in 2 weeks. Such. My lawyer said no. We want to come back in 10 days. The state has 10 days to test the drugs and come up with an analysis. So we want to come back in 10 days. In 10 days, we came back. The prosecutor wrote some shit on the paper. And the judge said, I can't read this. Said, what does this say from the state? And the state said, well, we still haven't had time to analyze the drugs. I had two felony ones. I had 56 grams of dope in the freezer, hard, all in pieces already. This in 2000 and goddamn 4. The case was throughout right there in court. It was throughout. Nolly. State failed to provide adequate such and such, and throughout. Period. That's the law. You get 10 days. If I bond out, you get 21 days to test it. I didn't bond out. I stayed in jail. Throughout. Never
Right.
brought up again, period at all. It's gone.
Right.
The
So
same
check
thing
this.
happened with a speedy trial. So I ain't saying you wasn't railroaded. I'm not saying you wasn't, because maybe you didn't know what was going on. But that's impossible for you to do a year in the
But
county
however, what
when
you're
you already
saying could be
signed up
true,
for a
it could
speedy
not be
trial.
true. But one thing that you understand, I know you don't gotta understand because you should understand this. Laws are different. Laws are different in every state. It could be like that in Ohio. I think that's where you at, but it's not. It might not be like that in Nevada. And one thing about my case, it could have been that she either didn't tell me that, my lawyer probably felt to tell me that, or it could be true what you're saying. I'm not saying I'm not gonna. I can't battle with it. I just know that in my case, what happened. That's what happened in my case. I can't. Nothing else I can say about that. No speedy trial is a consequence. No, I had a right to. No. Yeah.
Pastor, you
I had a. I just
different.
not
You
said
know.
I had a speedy trial, but they wasn't ready when I got. Like, I don't get it. We all have a right to a speedy trial, so that's why I had a speedy trial, because I know my right to a speedy trial. That's the law. Everybody has a right to a speedy trial. So I had a speedy trial. I wanted to do a speedy trial, but when it got to the date, they wasn't ready. Yeah, they wasn't ready.
That's on them. That's on them.
Right.
It's expired. That's on them. But if you didn't have a paid lawyer, then maybe not, because public defenders is the ones that eat
Yeah.
and sit with the prosecution and the judge and have parties together, because it's a nigga that got a bag that's gonna come in. So I ain't playing on your side. I can get y'all Antonio Keller, and we can cop him out to this, even though he innocent. But I got this man that gave me 80,000 for this case. And I'm gonna break both of y'all off 10, and we want him to get the lowest that he can get. So it worked like
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
if you didn't get you a paid attorney.
That's correct. You
They do
100%.
favors like that. So I'm not saying
I
I
had
don't know, but
the
like I
first one.
said, when they say it's
Yeah.
hard to go against DNA, and this what I say, this why I can say that Kobe Bryant was charged with rape, but the person that he raped has 7 or 8 different DNAs from her. You was taking this bitch to outcalls, niggas was running trains on her and
No,
everything, but your
hold on,
DNA
but
was
that's
the
what I
only
just
one
now
they
said.
found in the
That's what I just
bitch.
now said, respectfully. They never found my DNA, and you'll never find that in black and white or nothing like that. That's why I have to clear that shit up. They never found my DNA. And if somebody can produce some evidence or some shit like that, let me know, because they wouldn't even give me that. They wouldn't even give me the chance to cop down to a lower plea if they found my DNA in the girl. They don't even.
And that might be true. But then that might be true, because if they didn't have when they don't have nothing, they offer you anything just to have it on your record. And that's why motherfuckers don't take the shit, because if you take this motherfucking rape and you change it to coercion, you don't have shit for real. Then that's what I'm saying. How can you cop out to some shit if they don't got
That's
nothing?
why.
The bitch don't remember nothing.
So hold
She
on.
says she don't
You may be
remember
more
shit.
hard body when it comes to doing time than me. Hey, you might got that shit, but when it came to me, that was my first time ever being locked up, bro. So I was already in there for 7 months. I didn't want to stay in there another 7 months and still not be guaranteed to even win the trial. Right now, I'm playing Jeopardy. I'm a black. I know that I can be fucking innocent. They don't give a fuck about me being innocent. They know I'm a pimp. They wasn't worried about me being innocent. They just wanted a conviction out of me. They wanted to become a felon. That's how they is in the like They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. When they know that you doing something, and they know that they call me a menace to society because I was man, look, bro. They don't give a fuck about none of that. I know we watch movies and they think that the law and justice is justice. It's not no justice for a black man man, look, bro. You know what I'm talking about is real. Like, bro, I'm not trying to be in kudos or none of that type of shit. You know what I'm talking about.
I ain't either. But I'm just saying, after they come to that, make your blood boil. You go back to the county and say they want me to cop out to coercion or however the fuck you say it. And they like, oh, you got that shit beat. That shit is beat. That shit is beat. You beating that shit. They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing. And the judge is only gonna give you what the jury. Unless you want to judge, I got a jury trial. You get to pick if you want a judge trial or a jury trial. So it don't matter who the judge is. The judge can only say what the jury say. The jury has to convict you. And I got a bitch that don't remember nothing. So that means it ain't nothing. She don't remember. She don't remember having sex with you, period. You admitted that you had sex. She says she don't even never remember having sex with you at all. And she says she never fucked TC. Then you got a crackhead bitch too. So we definitely going to trial.
Yeah.
But they saying that the only reason you got charged because this bitch couldn't prosecute you. She never said you did nothing to her, period, because she don't remember. They said that you was charged based on DNA. There's no way that the police can pick you after this victim comes to the hospital, like a lady go to the hospital because she been raped, and they just go get whoever the fuck they want. I'm just going to get you because I'm coming to get you because you a pimp. I don't even know this bitch.
No, I don't
even know this bitch. How you come get me?
With her. So once I admitted that, that's what they said. Yeah, my lawyer told me that. She said I wouldn't even got locked up that night if I never admitted to having anything when they was giving me an interview in the garage. So the reason why they got me is because she said she woke up and she don't know what happened, and I'm sitting over here like a dumbass being honest. I didn't have to say that shit. That's part of my story. That's part of my documentary and everything that I've been through. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to just everything that's going on, you know, I just wanted to clear that part up. And like I say, man, even Sierra Hoover, even if she's honest, she would even be honest with y'all and say, like, nah, they never found this DNA. She would even have papers. She would even have something that says, you know what, we got his DNA. Like,
but well, maybe it's because she said she didn't. She said she don't never remember having sex with you, but you said y'all had consensual sex. How don't she remember consensual sex?
Just like she said she didn't never have sex with TC, right? But she want to move.
She did say that. TC said that too. You saying they had
literally
sex.
said that he moved her down here because I was watching, so he can have sex with her.
Right. When they said that happened as soon as she got there, they said the first day she came, all this shit happened within 24 hours.
The only thing about talking like this and talking about this shit public is when you're not gonna have everybody just be authentic. Like they be thinking like he can't get in trouble, he can't get prosecuted no more. I just don't understand why people don't just speak their truth. Why they always got to like try to make something into something that it's not. Just like I can come up here and just say everything, even if it sounds bad on my end. I'm just gonna say what the fuck is real. You don't gotta say like it makes them sound stupid to say, well, I brought this bitch down here not to have sex with her. And then we got drunk. I didn't have sex with her still. We still then I didn't even wait a minute. I didn't even know her before. Wait a minute. No, we hung out before, but no, we never had sex. I didn't know. Wait a minute. But she lied to me about her age. Wait a minute. So her age, she really just aged. I didn't know that was her age this time. So, but no, we didn't have like. Come on, like. We're not dumb.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm on the real T. So, all right, hold on. You might not want to answer this, but here go an allegation. TC said he watched you have sex. He said he seen with his own eyes you having sex with Sydney Starr.
This is another thing. That's why I don't. All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all what TC does, and maybe I'm weird for not judging him. He had a homie named Chase God, like that's from New York. Like they was in a Chase God and Sydney Starr was in a fucking relationship.